Hello there, Alder here, and today I'm going over a fan theory. I'm going over the fan theory, 8 things that prove Star Wars actually takes place in our galaxy. And I'm going to attempt to read this full thing without going off on it. Of course, I have my main argument already ready, because this is such a fucking dumb theory that it only needs one argument. But I'm going to try to get through this whole thing and give you guys all the information that you could possibly need to disagree with me, because I guess I hate myself a little bit. I like this picture. This is actually one of my wallpapers that I have. I love Star Wars wallpapers. If you guys have any unique Star Wars wallpapers, please send them to me, because I love Star Wars wallpapers. Anyways, let's begin. It starts a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But is it? Do we really know for sure that the events of Star Wars movies didn't or won't happen in the Milky Way? Because here are 8 connections that only seem possible if Star Wars is a part of our history or our future. I like this. I'm going to try to read this all dramatically. As you can see, there is the E.T. aliens. I want to look up what they're called. Alright, so yes, as you can see down there in the corner, the E.T. aliens, they are called Sogians, which are paddlefoot, large-eye sentients indigenous to Brodo-Asogi. Yeah. The biggest sign that Star Wars is actually in our own galaxy comes from the Phantom Menace. In one of the movie's many riveting scenes of politicians arguing, a pod of ETs can be clearly seen in one of the pods of the Galactic Senate. Since a bunch of ETs also carelessly abandon one of their species on Earth in the E.T. movie, we can infer that Earth and Coruscant are actually the same travel distance for these guys. After all, why would these guys need galactic representation if they weren't part of the galaxy? Fun, obnoxious facts. The head E.T. senator name is Gerblips. Gerbleps. Okay. First off, how dare you not even go in and look up the fucking name of the fucking species that you're using as your main point? Come on, dude! It takes that much effort. I typed in E.T. Aliens Star Wars, and I got the goddamn wiki page, the Wikipedia page. Asogians. It's pretty easy. Have a little bit of love for what you do. If you're going to try to prove a stupid theory, have a little bit of love. Little bit. Anyways, okay, next point. So I want to disprove this point. I want to disprove this point by point. So, how can I disprove this point? Outbound flight. Outbound flight is something that we know, and it's something that the Outbound Flight Project, which had representatives of the Asogi on it. It also had Sifo Dyas on it. Sifo Dyas was, of course, the Jedi that commissioned the Clone Army. This is as far as I understand. Apparently, either when the Outbound Flight mission was coming back or going in, it took some damage. It could be very well... I should probably clarify. The Outbound Flight Project was a mission for a ship to go out of their galaxy, out of the Star Wars galaxy, and find more galaxies that had intelligent life in them. It can be strongly inferred that that Outbound Flight Project that had Asogi on them, found Earth, went down to Earth, who's known as E.T., comes down to Earth, trying to scout it out, or he gets left here. I haven't seen E.T. in fucking forever, but He doesn't speak English, because in Star Wars they don't speak English, they speak Galactic Basic. So of course he's not able to speak to anybody. He's learning English as he goes along. And he sees the Yoda, the kid in the Yoda costume, and he's Han. And so that's what he's trying to do. He wants to get back to Galactic Senate so he can report on this fucking planet and blow us all up because fucking government men are trying to eat him. That's what the government's actually trying to do in that movie. They want to eat him and gain his powers. Onwards with the show. Yes, there's a very good chance that the ET on the planet is the same Ahsokian that you see in the Galactic Senate, or one of them, because it very well could be the Outbound Flight. It's much more likely that it's the Outbound Flight project that brought ET to Earth, rather than Star Wars taking place in our galaxy, because, the Hubble telescope and all of that kind of stuff would probably see some shit, rather than all the science that we have looking out into the universe would probably see some shit, rather than seeing nothing. Yeah. Next point, Isaac Asimov's Foundation. This beloved sci-fi series is very detailed description of the future humanity from a fall of the First Galactic Republic through the massive Dark Age and then the rise of another empire. Obviously, there are similarities in Star Wars Rise and Fall of the Republic and the Empire, and would seem pretty reasonable to guess that two could be part of the same cynical pattern. But there's a stronger evidence that many words that seem to have passed from Foundation to Star Wars or vice versa. For instance, Foundation mentions a planet named Corel, while Han Solo hails from a planet named Corellia. The Foundation Federation is set on a planet named Terminus, which happens to be a major trading and shipping planet in Star Wars, both of which are supposedly located near the edge of the galaxy. The capital of the Empire in the Foundation is a planet covered in an entire city named Trantor, while the capital in the Star Wars Empire is Coruscant. Or Coruscant, whatever. I call it Coruscant. The Star Wars galaxy still includes a planet named Trantor, and it too is covered in one gigantic metropolis. Okay, here's the thing. George Lucas did get a lot of his inspiration from Isaac Asimov, but you can't relate the whole, an empire raises and then it is followed by a rebellion. Why? Because that is it's a common story. That's a story that Earth civilizations have played out hundreds of times. So saying that, Star Wars must happen because it happened in Isaac Asimov's story of the Foundation. It is very true that George Lucas stole a lot of his, I shouldn't say stole, but used a lot of the stuff from Isaac Asimov's Foundation. And used a lot of stuff from Isaac Asimov's stories. You have to remember that at the time, Isaac Asimov was still considered a really big thing. Yes, his stories were a little bit older, but they were still extremely important to people. Isaac Asimov is still today extremely important to people, sadly less so. You might as well say that the Star Wars universe obviously takes place in our galaxy because of the Czech playwright and novelist, Karel Čapek? Karel Čapek, I think, who introduced his hit play RUR, or Rossum's Universal Robots, which is where the first term of robotics is actually implemented. Which obviously proves that Star Wars took place in our galaxy, because it has similarities. Number 3, the Encyclopedia Galactica. You most likely know this incredible valuable tome of information from the Douglas Adams' The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but it's published in the Star Wars galaxy as well. It seems to be much the same book. The encyclopedia happened to create an Asimov's Foundation series as one of the major goals of the Federation in order to keep the knowledge of falling empire from being lost. It was designed to survive the social collapse of human civilization, so it makes sense that it would survive the rise and fall of the Galactic Republic and Empire, as well as different sci-fi series too. Okay, wait. Okay, so number 3 just says, here's a thing that exists in other books, and we can assume it's published in the Star Wars galaxy as well. Where? In the Encyclopedia Galactica, it does sound like something that probably is published inside of the Star Wars universe, but that sounds like a pretty common name to use for knowledge about the galaxy. I think any galaxy that starts into a spacefaring that becomes spacefaring and encapsulates most of the galaxy, when they bring together their knowledge, the Encyclopedia Galactica seems like a pretty common name. No matter the galaxy. No matter which one. The fact that it's published in Star Wars, and that it's in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and that it's in Isaac Asimov's Foundation, that's not really proof of anything. It's not really evidence of anything. I guess it's kind of evidence, but it's rather sloppy evidence at best. Next is the Tizov worm. Tizo worm. Oh, and I guess that's the Tizo worm.
Look at it, it's so adorable. It's like kind of looks like a mini space slug. An exomorph.
No, exogirth. What's this space slug called? Space slug in Star Wars. Alright, what's it called? Exogorth. There we go. It looks like a mini exogorth. It is adorable. Okay, so, yeah. Oh, that's from the Star Wars trading card game. I play that game. No one else does. I have never met another person that does, but then again, I live in a small town. I love that game. I played the old one too, like the old Star Wars trading card game. Back when there was only episodes 4, 5, and 6. Good times, good times. Also, one of the Hitchhiker's Guide most memorable aliens is the Babel fish, which can be inserted into a person's earth. Oh, I'm fairly certain that means that's supposed to be ear. Inserted into a person's ear, and which translates all sounds mentally to its host, effectively working as a universal translator. Now, sticking a fish in your ear may sound like a uniquely Hitchhiker's Guide bit of nonsense, but the Yuzhong Vong, the terrifying foes of which the expanded universe stories, are in possession of a small aquatic slug-like creature named the Tizo worm, which they would also stick in their ears and which would also translate alien languages for them. Coincidence? Hell yes! Oh my god, Yuzhong Vong come from a different galaxy! They don't come from the Star Wars galaxy. They come from a different galaxy. So that doesn't help your fucking thing at all. Yes, they have kind of the same abilities. They do essentially the same exact thing. The difference is the Tizo worm was genetically created by the Yuzhong Vong. That's how they make their weapons. That's how they make all of their technology. They genetically alter species that currently exist to do what they want them to do. The Babel fish came about by an evolutionary mishap. Because it's funny. Yeah. So, coincidence? Yeah. Unless you're saying the Yu Zhong Vong came from our galaxy. Then it's probably not a coincidence. That's more evidence to show that Yu Zhong Vong came from our galaxy and decided to invade Star Wars because they saw the Star Wars movies and were like, that's really awesome! By the way, if you don't know who the Yu Zhong Vong are, they're from the Expanded Universe. Alright, so I think that will do it for this episode of Star Wars The Debunkaning. Star Wars The Debunkaning. I like that. I need to think of an actual title for what I'm doing here, as I'm planning on making this a constant thing. If you guys have any ideas for a good name for it, like Star Wars The Debunkaning, let me know down in the comments below. If you guys are enjoying watching me debunk this theory, please let me know by clicking that like button, maybe letting me know down in the comments. If you completely disagree with some of the points that I've made, go ahead and also leave that down in the comments, as I would like to read them. I mean, maybe you will convince me that, in fact, I'm incorrect. That very well could be. And if you have any theories that you want debunked, or that you just want me to look at, because maybe I agree with them. Unlikely, but maybe I agree with them. Go ahead and leave that down in the comments below, and I shall take a look at it. Yes, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode. And always remember, the Exogorth may be a monster, but what was it? The Tizogorth? The tiny ear thing from the Yu Zhong Vong is a baby monster, so it's adorable.